We're into the first section of chapter 2 for your student journal, writing and graphing inequalities. How can you use an inequality to describe a real-life statement? Or how can you translate an inequality into English and vice versa? So this is page 28. And honestly, if you just take a look at these lines, you'll see that everything shaded in black is a solution. And you should notice that there are many solutions. The arrow means that it keeps going on in that direction. So we have not 1, but like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 2, 2.5, everything less than 1 here, including the 1. So I'll get into more depth after we cover the core concepts. So inequality is anything that involves less than or greater than. Solution of an inequality is anything that fits in, anything that is greater than or less than whatever whatever is set out. Solution set is the set of numbers, set meaning that there's more than one, and the graph is a number line. So this page right here, sorry, what page is this? This is page 30. Goes a really long way in you figuring out, or you looking across and translating across formats, whether it's words, algebra, or a graph or number line. So if you say x is less than 2, the representation for that is x is less than 2. This being the less than sign. And when you graph it, you'll notice that the 2 has an empty circle. What that means is that we are not going to count that whatever number is encircled with an empty circle, we do not count that. So, for instance, 2 is not less than 2, but 1 is less than 2, or 1.5 is less than 2, or 0 is less than 2. That all works. That applies here as well. You'll see an empty circle. So if x is greater than 2, 3 is greater than 2, 4 is greater than 2, 5 is greater than 2, and every number all the way to the right to infinity, all those numbers are greater than 2. Less than or equal to, if it has an equal to 1, then you'll see it's essentially half of an equal sign right there. That means or equal to. And the number in the number line will be, the circle will be filled in. And then greater than is just facing the other way. So 12, write the sentence as an inequality. So 12 is greater than or equal to 5 times the number n. I could write 5 times n, or I could just write 5n, which is the same thing. 1/3 of a number h, so 1/3 of h. So that means they're being multiplied. 1/3 h times 1 divided by 3 is less than 15. I'm not really big on this analogy, but I know it's a popular one. So people say that this is the gator mouth, and it's always facing the bigger number. So you could say 12 is greater than or equal to 5n, and if it's eating the bigger number, then 15 is greater than 1/3 h. Another way of saying 15 is greater than is saying 1/3 h is less than, right? So if that's your thing, yeah, you can imagine that as the gator mouth, and the mouth is always trying to eat something bigger or greater. 7 is less than or equal to 7 is less than or equal to, if it was greater than, then the gator mouth would be facing the 7, but it is not. Equal to the difference, so difference means subtraction, right, of a number q and 6. Wow, this is pretty simple, right? Like we're literally just trying to translate the words into the algebraic form of this. So the sum of a number u and 14 is more than. If something is more than, does that mean it's bigger or smaller? If it's bigger, it faces the way of u and 14. If it's less than, it is facing the way of 6. But it says more than, so it'll go like that and 6. Okay. Tell whether the value is a solution of the inequality. So it's saying plug it in and tell me whether the resulting sentence is true or not. So I would say D is equal to 19. So 19 minus 7 is 12. And so the resulting, 19 minus 7 is less than 12. 19 minus 7 is 12. Is 12 less than 12? No, it's not less than. If I have 12 apples and you have 12 apples, neither of us has more or less apples than the other person. We both have the same amount. Moving on to the next one, n equals 1. 3 times 1 is 3, so I have 9 is equal to or greater than 3 plus 6 is 9. Again, it's multiplication, right? 3 times n. What is n? n is equal to 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So 9 is greater than or equal to 9. It is not greater than, but it sure is equal to. So this is no, it is not a solution, because that, whatever we said, 12 is less than 12, that's a lie. 9 is greater than or equal to 9. That's true, so we say yes, it is a solution. Pardon the hideous handwriting. Okay, so we're going to go into graphing, and remember, I think the key thing to remember is that the equal sign means that our number is going to be bubbled or filled in. So let's start at 3. Let's say like that, or like that. Yeah. It's got an equal sign, so we got to fill it in. And really, this line and arrow we're about to create, x is equal to or greater than 3. Well, you could just ask yourself, pick a number on either side of this and see if it fits. So 2 is greater than or equal to 3. Is 2 greater than 3? No. Is 2 equal to 3? No. So if I say no to those things, that means it is not a solution. Okay, well, how about 4? 4 is equal to or greater than 3. Oh, yes, it is a solution. Whichever number is a solution, we'll be going in that direction. So I'll just make a line. You can make a thick line. In fact, I'll make the size bigger. I'll make this line like this. Yeah. And I'll make an arrow at the end. Like that. X is equal to or less than 4. So again, because of the equal sign, this circle is going to end up being filled. Like that. Less than or equal to 4. So is 5 less than 4? No. So we got to go away from 5. Is 3 less than 4? Yes, it certainly is. So we're going to go in that direction. We're going to make our line that way. Okay. Oops. Moving into the next page. We have no equal sign, so that means this circle will be what kind of circle? Empty. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to leave that there. It's going to be empty. Greater than -1. Greater than, so a positive number. Positive numbers are greater than negative numbers, so we got to go towards the positive side. In that case, in this case, it is to the right. Well, positive numbers are always to the right. Okay. And that's number 9. X is less than 1. Again, because of the lack of the equal sign, this circle is going to be empty or filled. Should I fill it or not? I should not. It will be empty. Less than 1. Okay. Is 2 less than 1? No. Is 0 less than 1? Yes. We will go in that direction then. Oops. I thought I was making a line, but I was not. I need to click that instead. That's better. The arrow is continuing on to the negative numbers. Okay, write an inequality that represents the graph. So again, the first thing you should identify is whether or not it will have an equal sign or not. So this is an empty circle. Does that have an equal sign or not? And the answer is no. So now I just got to figure out greater than or less than. So another relationship is x and 1. All these numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, are they bigger than 1 or less than 1? They are greater than 1. X greater than 1, that's it. Here, the relationship between x and 0. The solutions, -1, -2, -3, -4. Are negative numbers greater than 0 or less than 0? They are certainly less than 0. Next. Now we have a couple filled circles. So that will include the equal sign. So we will say something like x We don't know if it's less than or greater than, but we know it includes equal because the circle is filled. And we're starting off at -3. So you have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, all those positive numbers, and -2 and -1 are what compared to -3? Positive numbers are greater than negative numbers. And lastly here, sorry, x and 3, and there's an equal sign there because this is filled. 2, 1, 0, -1, those numbers are all less than. Alright, that's it for section 2.1. Hopefully you understood it. If not, let me know or ask your teacher.